Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Well, we have two beautiful women in our studio, and they do really good things, though, and I'm really happy to have both of them here. And as you can see, we're talking with Catherine Snyder and Randi Browns, and they're co-founders of Quality of Life DME Group. Now, for those of you who don't know what DME, it's not some good food that you're eating. It's something that's very important for people who have some sort of a disability. So you want to start off, Randi, tell us what exactly that disability might be and what you provide.
DME stands for Durable Medical Equipment. So we help patients with various chronic illnesses, whether it's from aches and pains that require orthotic braces and or diabetic testing supplies. We offer various supplies. We work with our doctor and insurance and help to home to help with various issues.
Okay, so it's very interesting that you talk about that because, as you know, we are a company that really talks to the baby boomers and the adult seniors and the seniors. And what you're talking about now is perfect for them because I know that I had that situation with people in my family. And without that, they're not going to do very well. And so I'm really glad that two lovely women who've been in the business before, that's the nice part, that you decided that you wanted to do it your way, as Frank Sinatra said, right?
Absolutely.
You want to do it so that it's done properly.
Absolutely.
And we're glad that you're here doing that. Now, one thing we'll talk about, too, is when you're listening, everyone, and you want to meet these lovely women, you can come to the Boomer Expo because we're having that on July 23rd, and it will be fantastic. It's over at Seminole Casino. So let's go over, though, when you all decided to do this kind of a company. I mean, you could do any kind of a company, but this is a company that must make you feel very good when you see people walking out with this. So, Catherine, what has your experience been? What of all your products, what product do you think is the best for you?
I would have to say the diabetic supplies. My grandfather was a diabetic and passed away from diabetes, and seeing the technology change over the years has really been amazing to see. And knowing that we can help patients nationwide with these same products that will help make life just a little easier day by day really is what's touched me the most.
And when you say nationwide, is that because when they call your phone number,
we're a
you
mail
ship
order
it?
supply company, so we can mail nationwide. Randi and I really take pride in not worrying about profit margins, and I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of the other DME groups. And I think that's why we decided to go on our own. The companies that we were working for mainly were focused on profit margin. So if they didn't have an insurance that wasn't going to be profitable enough, they weren't going to service the patient. And that's kind of how Quality of Life was born. We wanted to improve the quality of life of as many patients as we could, whether there was a penny profit or none at all. So that's really what it was all about. And we knew from there we had to just go on our own and do it.
Okay, so Randi, that was a very good explanation from Catherine. When you think about someone with diabetes, I mean, where would they typically go? Can they walk into a drugstore and get what they need?
You'd be surprised to hear how many patients that we have spoken with that have stated that although they're supposed to be testing 4 times a day, they're testing once a day. Whether it's because they don't have the copay, because they're on limited income, they're on Medicare income, they're on disability, whatever the case might be, or that they didn't have enough time to take the bus because they didn't drive for one reason or another, so they weren't keeping up with their diabetic supplies. So we're able to work with their doctor and their insurance, have it delivered directly to their home, and they have absolutely no reason and no more excuses to not simply follow their doctor's orders, and it really does help to improve their quality of life. It also saves the insurance company tons of money in the long run because it avoids that person that's only testing once a day and their sugar's not controlled properly, to where their doctor can really identify when they go to their doctor, this is what's happening with your sugar levels. The meters themselves do store the results, so they could see they tested 4 times per day. We're all creatures of habit, I think, just by nature. So normally, especially people that do need rides and things of that nature, they might have their appointment every 3 months on a Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. they're only testing once a day in the morning. Their doctor's only seeing that 9 a.m. reading. He's prescribing their medication and things based off of that one reading. Whereas when they have the supplies that they need to be testing 4 times a day, he might see something completely different on the second, third, and fourth test throughout the day. So he can prescribe their medication more appropriately. That avoids from them having to take trips to the ER or the spiral that can be caused by diabetes when it's not treated properly. That in turn is saving the healthcare industry hundreds of thousands of dollars on an annual basis. So it kind of spirals into various areas where we're able to give back not only to the patient that doesn't have to worry about taking the bus or using their last penny to get what they need to follow their doctor's orders, but also helps the doctor to better manage their conditions.
So, Catherine, that was very good, Randy. Catherine, now you said that your grandfather had diabetes. So, were you around when he had diabetes?
I was, and it was very hard to watch. And I know a big portion of the stress of my grandmother was funds and not being able to get all the supplies that he needed. Not to mention, he was testing his fingers and pricking his fingers multiple times a day, using insulin multiple times a day. The technology now that's available, you don't even have to prick your fingers. If you're insulin dependent, they have a new meter, a continuous glucose monitor, where you can actually just scan.
I saw that on television.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about
amazing.
that. It's
And
true.
amazing.
Yes, and so now patients, going back to what she was saying on only testing once a day when maybe they were supposed to test 4, not only for financial reasons, for comfortability. Now they can test as many times as they need to because they're not having to prick their finger every time and go through the hassle and the pain of doing so.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to mention that. I was going to say, so has technology really advanced? Because I know what you were talking about, that I heard. I haven't had diabetes or in my family, so I wasn't a party to, but I do know people who've had to do that, and it's like, it's very scary. Oh my gosh, because if I have to take a pill 3 times a day, I go crazy. Did I take it? Did I not take it?
100%. And these are, the majority of these patients are seniors. They're, it's a lot to keep track of. They're not only are they keeping track of all their medications and everything else, it's just another way to make life just a little easier. And we're happy to be able to help people to do so.
We have people watching here. We have Lynn and Willie Riker, and we have Lloyd Hasner, and so yeah. Well, they're learning a lot. Hopefully,
Excellent.
Just because maybe they themselves may not have diabetes or need that, then they'll still know about it. But let's go. You do more than just diabetes, so let's go into that. So, Randy, what else? If I were to look at your website, what would I find?
The most common thing you'll see is orthotic braces, and that is come a long way just the same as far as technology. In the past, I know a lot of patients didn't want to wear any type of orthotic brace because they were big and healthy and bulky, and they found them to be extremely uncomfortable. They have changed drastically.
How?
They're lightweight. They're easy to put on. They're easy to take off. They don't have big giant metal buckles on them anymore. So they've changed drastically.
Thank you, Velcro, right?
Thank you, Velcro. Absolutely. Absolutely. The technology in that in itself, and it's still ever changing. We have various models of different braces. It's up to the doctor and the insurance to dictate which the patient will have. But a lot of these patients, some of them are super fragile. They can't hold up the old style heavy back brace. So they just avoided wearing it altogether. When it's proven that patients that need orthotic braces, such as a back brace, whether it's because they have joint issues or arthritis, truly helps. It takes that overworkings off of their body and allows for them to have relief from the pain, and it keeps the inflammation down. That in turn helps them from having to continue to take narcotic medications, which we know what an epidemic we have with that. Unfortunately, a lot of times it still goes hand in hand, but if it can help to cut back on some of the patients having to take those type of dosages because they're getting the relief and the support from the orthotic, then everybody wins.
So do the doctors have to present a prescription for them to get this?
And we help with all of that. We help the patient from start to finish, from checking their insurance benefits to sending the prescription over to their physician. They literally don't have to do anything but answer the door when the mailman shows up.
Okay, so I want to just give the right phone number. And what is the phone number for, do you want the phone number or do you want them to go to your website?
The phone number. They can call in and speak with a personal patient advocate that can help them through the entire journey.
What is that number?
It is 855-799-6340.
Okay, why don't you repeat that and then we'll do that again later.
855-799-6340.
So when they call, you have now people on call centers like you used to do but they're been well trained by you, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
We are very blessed. We have a group of agents that have been with us for 7 years. They followed us from the company where they initially were employed, and we were simply managers and co-workers with them, all the way through to when we chose and we said we're looking to venture out on our own. And we were really touched by the fact that no questions asked. Simply they asked, do you have a space for me? We want to be a part of whatever you're doing. We believe in what you're doing. We believe in the whole mindset behind how you're doing things differently. And they've joined us. So they've been with us for years now.
So when someone makes that phone call, let's go through this. Okay, I just done it. I just made the phone call. And what happens? Why don't you, let's go through this. Ask me what I need, and let's play this game.
Go ahead.
The most common way we're communicating with patients.
No, let's just do it. Okay, I made the phone call. Hello.
Hi, Miss Anita.
Yes, I've called you because I have a need for a prosthetic. Is that what I call it?
An orthotic.
An orthotic.
An orthotic brace.
So that's right. Prosthetic is when you have you don't have one of your
Correct.
legs, but you have
Heavens
people with
forbid.
legs, so we're not going to do that.
So I would
Okay,
ask
orthotic.
you first, where's the majority of your pain located?
Oh, it's in my ankle.
In your ankle. And on a scale from 1 to 10, when that's worst, what is your highest level of pain?
Oh, probably a 5.
A 5. I understand. And have you received an ankle brace within the past 5 years?
No, this
You
is
have
a new injury.
Understood. Well, we'll work closely with your doctor and your insurance to help you to receive the newest top-of-the-line braces, which are delivered directly to your home with free shipping.
Oh, goody.
And what is your address?
Oh, okay. I have to give my address. Okay, 1515 North Federal Highway, Suite 300, Boca Raton. And then what happens?
I would want to know who your doctor is. I would verify your insurance information. We do a live eligibility check to ensure that you're likely eligible and that would be covered for you. We obtain a little bit more specific information, your shoe size, things of that nature, to get the proper information over to your doctor. And then we check with the insurance. We get that prescription over to your doctor. Once the doctor signs off on it, believes that it's beneficial, then we will contact you again, let you know that your brace is coming, and get it over to you.
Okay, Catherine, so are you doing the packing of the boxes?
I'm not. We actually use a drop ship program, so we don't have any inventory in-house, which makes it a lot easier for us. We can spend more time working directly with the patients and not having to worry about any of that.
Okay,
kind of
so
stuff.
now you've given them the information to drop ship it. Do you call that patient back to make sure they got it and everything's
Absolutely.
okay?
We do a follow-up call. We make sure we take surveys with them, see how we can improve. And then as other products come on the market and new things come about, we can always give them a call and see if it could be beneficial for either them or someone else in the family. Like what Randy was saying about our employees, our reps, they've been with us for 7 years. We're like a family. And we want our patients to feel the same way. We want them to be able to call us anytime. Hey, Catherine, I got my brace. Can you help me do this? Or, you know,
I want to make soup tonight, and I don't know what to put in it, right?
Exactly.
We've heard that too. We
Have you?
But-
That's right, you got friends, right?
Absolutely. And a big thing, too, I mean, Randy and I, obviously, as women business owners, we took that approach for a lot of reasons. There was a couple years ago, I was watching a YouTube video of children with Down syndrome, and they had this whole organization that was doing these amazing things to help them. And I said, Randy, when we own our own business one day, I want to do something like this. I don't care what it is. I want to make sure that we give back as much as
Wow.
we can. So we actually did some research and found a catheter company called Cure Catheters that donates proceeds to research for the spinal bifida organization for children that require catheters. And we're just trying to do as much as we can to give back, and we want to be known for those two women that just love everybody.
Oh, you are so
And honestly,
lovely.
that's
What
the
a
truth.
great idea. So that's why you're smiling all the time. That's
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
right. Well, we want to help your business and make sure that you get lots of business so that
Thank you.
you can do the thing for good for people. Let's talk about some other things. So the orthotics. So we just talked about ankles. So, Randy, what else? What other kind of orthotics do people need? I mean, what if they
Quite a
have a neck
few.
problem? Is that
Yeah, there's neck braces, shoulder braces, back brace, knee brace, wrist, hot cold compress, TENS units. It's a variety.
We're getting into the canes and the walkers. We're not there yet, but we're We want to be able to all-around package.
I hope that the canes are going to be all beautifully decorated.
Of
and
course,
not
they're
out
gonna
of
be
those
dazzled.
ugly
Not.
dates.
They have to be. That's a requirement.
Right,
We'll
right,
have
right.
to bring you down to our office.
I
and
would
when
like
you
that. And
walk
you
in-
have, and do you have that? And now, do you have like when you describe these to people, or do you have like a sheet you send out to people, color sheet or something?
Yes, and unfortunately our website is under construction simply because we had a terrible leak in our office, and some of the images that were used no longer are.
Enjoy being an entrepreneur.
Thank you. Welcome to entrepreneurship.
Right. No, but anyway,
Absolutely.
so someone can go on the website
That will
and
be
they
back
can
up.
then see a variety of things, because you may have two things for a neck and not one, and they'll decide. Is that how it goes?
It's really based off of their doctor. We want to make sure that it's something that the doctor who's familiar with their specific issue and their condition is prescribing what's going to be most beneficial for them. So it's not necessarily always about appearance. It's about what's going to help them to heal and help them to be less uncomfortable with their pain, to keep those pain meds and all of those other alternatives out of the way.
All right, and so, Catherine, what happens when someone's healed, they're finished? What do they do with that?
It's not something that's always necessarily used for an accident or an injury. People wear them daily. My grandmother, for instance, her knees ache every day. It wasn't from an accident,
I see.
just simply from old age, and wearing the knee brace gives the stability that she needs to provide comfort and relief. She can take it on and off when it's necessary, but the majority of the patients are actually not patients that have been involved in an accident. It's mostly just from natural aging and,
So they need it, and then they're just going to continue. The reason I ask that is because I have a friend who fell on her bicycle, and she fractured her ankle. And when she was finished, because I guess she got a orthotic, didn't know what to do. The doctor gave it back to her. And what'd I do? I said, I don't know. So I found an office of a podiatrist, and in the middle of the night I dropped it off on the outside and left. Figured maybe he could use it. What do you do with something when you're finished like that and you're not going to use it anymore?
we donate it.
We don't.
Well, I should have known that. See, and I could have given it to you to donate.
Bring by our office.
Right,
We got a
so now I
sterile bin
know.
that we do.
Because that is a question, isn't it? I mean, if
Absolutely.
someone uses it, well, now we know. So
Absolutely.
bring us all your, unused orthotics, right? And
There
we'll
you
take
go.
care of it. Because there are
Absolutely.
people maybe who can't afford it, right? And then you can
Correct,
give
absolutely.
So
Or they
many.
can't afford to go to the doctor to get a prescription to get one.
it. So that's what you wind up doing. Let me
Absolutely.
just tell everybody again, you're listening to Catherine Snyder and Randy Rounds, and they're co-founders of Quality of Life DME Group. And we've been talking about diabetes and orthotics. And is there anything else? I mean, is it orthotics and
Catheters we're
diabetes?
getting into.
Catheters as well.
Oh, well, let's talk about, because you mentioned something about the catheter, but let's talk about catheters. They're just the idea of catheters, I mean, really, it's
I
like,
have to
tell me about it.
Everybody does that. I think it's just common that people that don't have a catheter associate that with the hospital. They associate that with something major. And unfortunately, there are plenty of people that do depend on catheters because they're unable to relieve their bladders naturally on their own. And they're very familiar with that. However, there's a whole nother set of people that we try to cater to that are simply urinary incontinent. They're able to relieve their bladders. However, they're not able to control their bladders. Catheter technology, just the same, has come such a long way. They have one-use disposable female catheters now that are non-invasive.
This is a female catheter.
Female catheter.
Tell us, I know, and you can use the words.
the
Tell
size
us.
of a
It
pen.
is. It looks like almost like a little lipstick. It's super discreet. And what we found is what's happening with a lot of women that have urinary incontinence, where they say they laugh or they sneeze and they have some type of leakage, they're simply not depleting all of the urine from their bladder when they're using the restroom. And that remaining urine that's left in their bladder is what causes that leakage when they have any type of pressure. So with a disposable one-time use catheter, they're able to, after they relieve themselves naturally, insert a catheter, which is extremely small. It's not painful whatsoever. I've done it myself. And get the rest of the urine that's remaining in the bladder completely depleted, so they have no issues. There's nothing left.
And
to
they throw that
possibly
away?
leak. Throw it
They
away,
throw it away. It's a
disposable.
one-time use.
Now
If you
that
looked
is
in the purse, you
a
wouldn't even know.
disposable catheter
Yes.
for a woman.
Covered by insurance. Just the
Amazing.
same. It's really
we have
beneficial.
Seth Levy watching and talking now too. He's actually in the business. He has a mobile. He has a mobile unit that goes with a doctor to different places. So it's very good that he's listening too.
Excellent.
Let's just move along with this. So now let's talk about male incontinence.
They have indwelling catheters, which is what most people do think of, where
Right.
there's a discrete bag,
Right.
but they also have condom catheters. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something
Condom
that's invasive.
catheter.
A condom catheter. So for a man that's urinary incontinence and has that same issue, I know a lot of men hate the idea of wearing what people to refer to as a diaper, which we do not like that word.
Right.
But if you need an adult pad or brief, with a condom
Better than
catheter,
staining your pants.
absolutely.
Not going anywhere.
Absolutely. For the men, they can use a condom catheter. It's a very small, discreet, tiny little bag that could be taped to their inner thigh. You can't tell through clothing. So if they have that concern and they want to be out and be more active, they don't have to worry about wearing something big and bulky underneath their pants. Just the same, covered by insurance as well.
Isn't that
And in the
amazing?
long run, just like you were saying before, it saves the health insurance tons of money. They don't have to keep going to the hospital for urinary tract infections and things of that nature from sitting in a
Wet pad.
exactly.
That's fabulous. So you started in this business quite a while ago, not in your own,
did.
but another one, and you've really seen the technology change, haven't you?
Absolutely. The founder of Cure Catheters, the reason, aside from the fact that a lot of it is charity events, he was a quadriplegic and he is a catheter user himself. He was destined to find a more comfortable catheter. When we had the presentation, they brought the catheters in and they had us feel the tips of 2 different male catheters. And when I tell you the ridges on a regular typical catheter versus the Cure catheters, it was like night and day.
So that's interesting that it was because he needed to have one.
He did.
And he helped invent it.
And now he's putting all those proceeds to charity to help with research and finding out more for everybody else. It's just...
See, that's so nice. So if someone calls, you know that they have trepidation to begin with. I have to get a catheter, right?
Absolutely.
And so, but my question is, do the ladies or men at your call centers, are they as good as you?
I think so. They've been with us for so long.
We have spent years building our training model and our enrollment model, years literally, and we want to make sure that our agents fully knowledgeable about any type of condition that they might run into, whether it's a patient that's calling about orthotics or stating that they just have chronic pain and it's due to fibromyalgia, or if it is due to arthritis. There's so many different conditions, so we really take a lot of pride in making sure that they're educated properly so they can properly assess if a patient would benefit from a brace or not. Ultimately, again, it's up to the doctor to prescribe that, but we're certainly not trying to have braces go out to patients that don't need them. We want to make sure it's something that's truly going to help to improve their quality of life, and we always like to help to promote an active lifestyle for them. A lot of people are limited with that.
But if someone didn't have a doctor prescribe it, but they wanted one, they could buy that from you, couldn't they?
Essentially, we do have cash pay because we are technically retail DME. We really do prefer to try and work with their physician just for their benefit. We can take cash pay all day long,
but
again,
I'm just thinking about some people just say, hey, I don't want to go to the doctor. I need this. Can I get it from you? And I guess you can.
we try to help patients in that manner as well, with working with some different organizations that do provide different types of video conferences to see if maybe we can get them paired up with somebody that would be able to properly assess them. It's a little tricky,
see.
but we try and help even in those cases
That's good.
as well.
And let's get your phone number one more time. I'm going to write down this.
It is 855-799-6340.
Okay, and that's then if you call there, you'll be talking with Quality of Life, DME, and are there a lot of, well, are there places that people actually go to get these things, or are they all done over the phone?
The majority of our patients are drop shipped. It's mail order directly to their home. And again, there's no cost for shipping. We do have an occasional walk-in, some referrals from local people that will come into our DME, where we do have braces and things are available on site there. But for the most part, it's usually via enrollment over the phone and then drop shipped.
Because, a lot of times people are curious and they want to talk to a friendly face.
Sure.
And know about it, because now
They're more than welcome to come in
see.
anytime.
Right, especially I would think the catheters that just having it sent. But let's just go back over this for another minute or two, because having, when you're sick and you have pain, having, an orthotic is like oh my gosh, I'm now old and I'm going to really be, it's going to be bad. And so do you have any ones that are bright red or green or blue? We had this with hearing aids years ago. Hearing aids are horrible, but now they're starting to make them colorful. So are they all black? Your
they're
orthotics
black,
pretty
but
much
I
black.
wouldn't say it's necessarily. You have a lot of. I mean, her son's a perfect example. Was in had a couple hip replacements and things like that. He's 24 years old, playing sports.
Football.
So people that are athletic and do
Right.
play sports and things like that, or have injuries, you can wear a brace from 18 all the way to 108. Hopefully
Right.
you get there.
But they're black, huh?
They are.
Well, there maybe that.
So we need to work on bedazzling.
Yeah,
that
or
because-
you can put some sprinkles, some things on it.
We spoke about Velcro coming a long way. I think
Oh,
we should
yes.
invent some colored Velcro for at least
Yes,
make the
you
straps
see,
the
there you
color.
go. Now they're
Like
not.
it.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
Colored
now it's on the
Velcro.
air. Everybody's
it.
Right.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah, well, they probably don't care as much as you do, but that's true. Colored
Absolutely
Velcro.
stylish.
Now we have another person. Ellen Glastein is watching also. So yeah, but we do want to talk about the Velcro. It's very important because before Velcro, you're right. Someone just couldn't get all those things together, but they are. It is amazing, isn't it?
It really is. That's one of the things, too, you asked about if we speak with them after they've received the brace. Very important to us. If they're not utilizing the brace properly, the benefit isn't there.
Correct.
So we make sure our office manager will be the one. She's fully trained from the manufacturer as to go through the proper use of the brace. We ask them to do the reverse demonstration to ensure that they know how to put it on and take it off properly. And we make sure that they're following however long their doctors prescribe for them to be wearing it. We don't want them to say they're too tired to take it on and off so they sleep in it or anything like that. We want to make sure that they're achieving the full benefits out of the
Great,
use.
that's wonderful. Well, this has been a terrific discussion, and we look forward to seeing you at the Boomer Expo. And be sure to look for them. It's their Anyway, you can look for them. Catherine Snyder, Randi Rounds at the wonderful, at their booth, and that will be the Quality of Life DME group. Thanks very much for
Thank
being
you
here.
for having
so
us.
much. We appreciate it. Thank you.